If you're someone who's played a lot of story-based RPGs, you're probably aware of this bittersweet phenomenon. When you play a truly immersive game, like The Witcher 3, the vibrance and depth of the characters and world make it almost impossible to put down. For a while, it feels like you're a part of the action, and every arc or twist hits you as if you're really invested. But when the credits suddenly roll, you're left feeling lost. The characters either disappear or are reduced to reciting the same robotic lines, quests feel like they've lost their purpose, and perhaps most crushing, your favorite moments are all in the past. All of that to say, this feeling hit me hard when I first finished The Witcher 3 all those years ago. I remember sitting and staring at the title screen at a loss for words. It was uncomfortable, and I've heard many people say that they never looked at gaming the same again after experiencing it. So why bring this up? Why get all poetic and vague? Well, it's quite simple actually. One of my favorite moments in The Witcher 3 is the key quest in Skellige known as the Last Wish. The final quest in Yennefer's romance track. Yes, I know. Look, I've always been a bit of a romantic at heart. But even you stone-cold folks out there have to admit the atmosphere and lore of this scene is hard to beat. The final setting was always the most memorable. Yennefer and Geralt seeking out a djinn atop a mountain on the wreckage of an old ship. Unique, to say the least. Once the quest ended, however, that's it. It's gone. You can't return to be nostalgic or take in the view. It's completely missing from the map. And to 99% of players, that is true. Some mod the game and use other methods to return, but to me that's just not the same. I think you all know where this is going, and if you watched my last video, so many of you did by the way, again, thank you so much. You know I'm extremely stubborn and refuse to bend to such crutches such as glitches or mods. So with that being said, my questions for this exploration were, where exactly is the ship on the map? Is it possible to return within the game's limits? And what will I find if I can reach it? Like last time, there's quite a bit of video ahead, so I'm sure you can guess what some of those outcomes were. But without further ado, here is my journey back to the Last Wish boat. Naturally, there was only one foreseeable way to pinpoint where the ship is located in relation to the rest of the map. I reloaded a previous save and made my way to the area. Seeing Yennefer again and reliving the moment made me really want to just cave and play the whole quest over again. But no, we have a job to do. When we take a look at the map, we get some less than stellar news. The boat is way east of Caracholda and in the middle of absolutely nowhere, atop what looks to be one of the tallest mountain ranges in Skellige. No markers, not even any question marks, completely remote. This is further shown as we take a look around the edge of the mountaintop. In most places, the angle is so steep that you can't even see the mountain. And after this first look, it was really starting to feel like I was biting off more than I could chew. It was time to get creative, which led me to my first thought. What about approaching this from another, more unique angle? With that in mind, I booted up my current save and went straight to Caracholda Harbor. When checking the map, I noticed that just to the northeast of where the ship was supposedly sitting, there was actually a named location, the Ancient Crypt. So naturally, the idea was to jump aboard a boat and sail to the general area to see what our options may be. After hitting the open waters and running from a swarm of sirens, I was starting to gain some confidence again. Surely there's going to be a way to climb up. I mean, that would only make sense. CDPR's map design is top. Okay. Yeah, so Geralt would need to start moving like the ice climbers if we're going to get up that slope. Let's not count him out yet, right? I mean, he's called the White Wolf for a reason. And that reason clearly has nothing to do with walking in any sort of snow or ice. Okay, so this clearly wasn't going to work. Strike one, book it, shake it off, on to the next. Fun fact about me, I always have a backup plan. And in this case, that meant heading to the middle of Ard Skellige to another named location called the Miners' Field. Sitting to the north of the field, there seems to be quite a big structure nestled in the base of the mountain range. This may be easier than I thought. Even this Cyclops was excited. Hey, let's not push it, big guy. The ride to the location is serene. Deer run free, the sun peeks through the trees, the mountain air is crisp. There was even this misty pond that I had no idea existed. Everything was looking up. Literally. That is, until we arrived at the place. So yeah, maybe there's an elemental who hits like a 2004 Ford F-350 in a school zone. But, oh yeah, and two gargoyles that move like Prine Ornstein and Smo. But once that was all taken care of, things weren't looking half bad. Taking a look back down where we were earlier, though, that was never going to work. There are so many things to jump on and get a head start from here. And look, right off the bat, we're able to make great progress. Okay, all jokes aside, we were able to jump up this patch of soft snow to make some decent altitude progress. Hell, we might even be a third of the way there already. I may have spoke too soon though, as past a certain point the rocks looked a little too vertical for our liking. And Geralt decided now was the time for his Olympic tryout. Another fun fact about me, I'd never have a backup to the backup plan. We're not out of hope yet though. We have more angles to try. So I did what I do best and threw Geralt at the mountain hoping something or someone would stick eventually and we could make it to another checkpoint. After a few minutes, this was looking really unlikely. I was starting to actually lose hope now. It felt as though the map was shaped intentionally to prevent this kind of backtracking. That empty feeling was coming back. That is, until I was graced by this glorious sight out of nowhere. There, after losing all progress, in the middle of absolute nowhere, was a line of soft snow with a forgiving angle. This could be what we needed to get to the next level. And sure enough, by jumping a couple times, we made it up pretty easily. And out of the blue, there it was. How strange it was to see it from this angle. It made it almost eerie in a way. Taking a look forwards and backwards, it was obvious we didn't have much room for error anymore. Determined now, I started throwing Geralt at this nearly 90-degree face of rock, the same area we had seen earlier when reloading the quest. I'll admit, we slid down a couple times. Luckily it was never too far down though. I got really lucky all things considered. I consider this a win. But finally, after some miraculous animations by Geralt and some randomness, we made a jump I never thought could happen. Victory was in our reach. It really was a weird feeling. Here I was back at such an iconic location, but without all the parameters and scripted events set by the quest. I took exactly the same route that you walk with Yennefer. It was so interesting to have this level of freedom. I really felt like I could slow down and take it all in, including this view, which in a way was symbolic of all the progress we made. Aboard the ship, everything was as we left it. Furniture, chests, doors, all exactly how they were. Even the bookshelf you lift off the sorcerer to find the djinn is still standing upright. In a way, this felt right. It felt like a relic. A museum of sorts that stood as a reminder of a key choice and beating element to not just this game's story, but the entirety of Geralt and Yennefer's past throughout both books and games. All that thinking made me realize, the time of day is always locked when you do the quest. What does the ship, in view, look like at different times of day? If you were also curious, don't worry. It's even better than you imagined. Sunset brought out this pink-looking sun. It made the backdrop somehow even more unique. There is some serious screenshot/game photography potential here. For minutes, I stood just taking in this new perspective. The same was true when night came. The moon, snowflakes, and misty mountains seemed to flow together, almost as if the developers knew someone would try this and take it in all together. Safe to say, I was feeling beyond accomplished, and I really encourage you guys to follow along and visit the boat again yourselves. I'd love to see what screenshots you take and stuff you can find. For now, though, my work was done. I could sit knowing that an iconic location I had thought was inaccessible was actually waiting for someone to visit again. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video and for showing the channel so much love recently. I had a lot of fun just messing around and trying to make something out of nothing with this video. And hopefully you all got something out of it, even if it was just some nostalgia about some of your most iconic moments when playing The Witcher 3, or really any game for that matter. That being said, I am totally open to trying this concept on other areas of the game, and I even started a list of some that I think may also be possible. Let me know if you want to see more, and also drop a comment if you have any suggestions yourself. Until next time, here's some words of wisdom to get you by. If you keep pressing spacebar fast enough, you can get anywhere you want to go. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again for watching.